Paul's my #1 fan.
I'm his biggest supporter, biggest fan.
Biggest supporter, and my bro. Like
I'll support him in anything he does. He's one of the best songwriters and singers. Felt that way when I first heard his voice, which is why I even joined the band.
He kicks my ass when I'm not in music. He's like, bro, come on, like, you know, like, get on your social. Like, he's just on me because it's all love, right? He just wants me to do me. Yeah, it's been hard though.
Sounds bad.
I had to figure it out.
Not like that, but
well, you know, and that's.
I want him to do him, yes, because you know, for real, he's doing big things now. So. He's got new music all the time that he's sending me just to see, you know, lyrically and melodically.
And it's coming. It can't be rushed. It's coming from a much different place. It's coming from a lot of different experiences, so I'm trying to encapsulate all that, or as best as I can, you know, to be a fair representation of what I went through and what I have to say.
And before we talk about what you guys are doing now and that whole journey, you did something really cool, because those of us who grew up with like New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys, you know, it was pretty cool that you guys toured with them. So
it was surreal.
Dream come true.
Yeah, it was like, it's pretty amazing.
Howie D was one of our managers.
Yeah.
And that was part of the thing when we first came out. Like when we first came out, we went around to every major radio station in the country, singing acoustically for them, singing real 4-part harmonies, playing our own instruments, and with a Backstreet Boy in the room.
Like
with a song that we loved.
Kudos to Howie. What a humble. What a
great guy.
G. Like he was in a van with us. Like, do you know what? Think about that. It's a Backstreet Boy, has an illustrious career, like huge, massive career, and then is in a van, chilling, like, you know, just drinking coffee in the van, having conversations, going from radio station to radio station with us.
Like, so he was essentially managing you guys.
He was part of he was part of the management.
He was a big part. He was a part of the management team.
Okay.
So like at certain levels, like, as you know, you develop teams, and then titles are titles, but everyone does a role. Everyone fills a void and does something to benefit the team, right? So
and he helped us get on.
Definitely played his part 150%.
When we heard that New Kids, obviously we heard before anyone else that New Kids and Backstreet Boys would be doing a mashup tour.
Yeah.
Like I was freaking out about it because I grew up with New Kids on the Block, and they were like literally when I was 5 years old. It was my first concert because I had older girl cousins.
Yeah.
And we went. They were the biggest thing around. And then when the Backstreet Boys came out, obviously it was the biggest. Like I had their CD just because, you know, it was the biggest thing. You don't, you know. So when we had the chance to open for them, it was. It was like really, really amazing because they were all so sweet with us and they were so supportive, and that was how we got to play our first, you know, sold out arenas.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And then the places that we grew up wishing to play, the Air Canada Center, you know, the Sky Dome, we even got to play. You know, there were when we got word that Howie was going to come down so that we could play for him. He was coming to Toronto to do a show, so they set it up like, okay, look, we'll set it up at this place. How, you know, you can play for him and he'll take a listen. For us, this is now like, this is the shot. Like, this is the performance that could potentially get you a Backstreet Boy support. Like, that's crazy. So we go to the Backstreet Boy show first, and I just remember, like, the stage is this way, and Paul and I are like this, and we're looking at the crowd freaking out over the Backstreet Boys, and then we look at each other and we're like, one day. And then fast forward a year after that, it was almost a year to the date of that show, we were on the stadium, and then we were just like, that was part of our first standing ovation too, a whole arena standing ovation.
Yeah, that was
London,
great.
Ontario was the last show we played at that tour, and we walked out from backstage after we performed to see them. We wanted to go to front of house to watch. And as we're walking out, the whole place started standing up and going up like this, and we thought it was for them because we thought they could see them backstage. They were on next. But by the time we got to the front of house, we just stood there, and the whole place was on their feet. That was like 11,000 people.
I only started realizing it when the people at the front row were like starting to stand up. And then I was like, I was looking, well, why are they looking at me? And then I looked at Paul, and then it just clicked, and we're like,
is this happening?
I remember what I said. I was like, is this for us?
Yeah.
Like, it was all like just dumbfounded.
Silly.
Like,
That was one of the
Anyways, yes, it was an honor to work them.
Look, if you can have us here all day reminiscing about the Neverest. This is one of the most pivotal experiences of my life. Like,
no, of course. I mean, and the product, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, you guys, if you go on YouTube now and you see the videos, they still got millions of views.
Yes.
Right? So fans want to see you guys perform. If you guys, I know you guys are releasing, like, or you have released the Lost Tracks.
We
on
released them
Spotify,
already.
right?
We released them in May. Yeah.
You think that Howie D would be like supportive? Do you think he'd be? Do you still have a connection with him? Or?
I've stayed in touch with Howie, and they were just recently here. I went to go see them. He's always kind and accommodating anywhere. I went to also see them in Vegas while we were there, and just so sweet and still supportive. Yeah, he's not our manager anymore or anything like that. We did everything on our own.
I'm sure if we were on the scene, there would be something to support.
Yeah.
But when we're not on the scene, it's not like, how much support.
He's supportive of us as people. That's the bottom line, right?
If we hit him up and said, hey, Howie, here's our new project, or here's something I'm working on.
Okay.
The fact that we even have access to somebody like that's just amazing.
Who believes in you too, right?
Right. Who we've worked with and have a relationship with. It's kind of crazy to even,
We were fortunate to have a good team too. Jeffrey Latimer is another big manager of ours. Mike Kiofos. These people were the reasons for us having the opportunities we did, and it was just up to us to capitalize.
After you guys started doing your own thing, I know SPEE, that hat has a lot of meaning. I want to talk about that, and I know you always make me pee my pants on
Do I?
Instagram. Yeah, we're going to talk about what you're doing too. Yes,
just talking me up to all the ladies. Yeah.
After Neverest, I had an identity crisis, almost like an ego death, right? I spent majority of my life as a musician, identifying as a musician, and then as soon as that was finished, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, who's SPEE if I'm not SPEE from Neverest? Who's just SPEE? So I had a lot of thinking and a lot of.
It's difficult for a lot of people in that position.
Dude, I see it. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just because I'm not on Instagram, I don't spend a lot of time posting. I just take a look at where society's at. You know what I mean? I have a pulse on it enough to be like, well, I'm not the only one kind of struggling. A lot of artists that have had any kind of success, this is a real challenge for them.
Sure.
Because when you're used to getting a lot of attention, especially if that's what you set out to do, a lot of people, like for me, it was I want to just make money doing music. That was it. If I could do that, that's my happiness. So I got there, and I still wasn't necessarily happy. And then that's when everything kind of changed for me. So I had to kind of focus in on myself and feel in and figure out what's going on here. I had meditation as a tool. Brilliant. To be able to have a pulse on yourself and be self-aware is the only way to go. So that kind of led me into this becoming a coach. I kind of, after 2 years, fell into being a life coach. And then that spawned a whole thing. That's kind of how I was making my living after Neverest. After that, and me wanting to get back into music, I decided to simplify all of this messaging and just kind of put it in a brand. I started thinking to myself, like, well, my buddy and I, his name is Yuri, and him and I, we were thinking about this brand. We were just saying, like, why are we wearing someone's name? Like, why? If we can use marketing to spread a good message, like, why don't we do that? Why don't we get clever and figure something? So hence, plus a lot of life experience, going on vacation, and bonding builds that. Like, when you build bonds like I have with Paul, when you build bonds like that, products just come. And what my goal in my life mission now is just to have a message, spread that message through my coaching, spread it through the brand that I'm wearing. It's like our catchphrase is wear what you stand for.
Right.
It's fun, kind, real you. So when I talk about having an ego death, we need an identity to survive here. So choose it, and choose wisely, essentially.
Hey, what are you doing? You want to come to this movie? Yeah, okay, maybe. This Sunday, you mean? No, next Sunday. So this Sunday. No, not this Sunday. Next Sunday. You understand? Next Sunday. But it's Monday. So the next Sunday would be this Sunday. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I said. What did you say? I don't understand what could be so confusing here. It's next Sunday. That's this Sunday. I'm not talking about this Sunday. You said this Sunday. I said next Sunday. No, you did not. That's what I said. It's not this Sunday. You did not say that. I said that. What are you doing? Are we joking? Is this a joke? We're kidding, right? You know what? Don't come to the movie anymore. I don't want to come. Don't come. I don't want to come. No, don't come. I don't want to come. I don't want you there. Good? Good? Shut up. I don't care. Shut up. I don't care. So this Sunday you want to go. You know what? This Sunday and the next could go f yourselves. How about that?
You got a lot of stuff going down the pipeline because I know you also act as well.
I'm an actor as well, yep, and I'm trying to land more that way too. I've learned so much about the world in general as far as the production goes. I produce everything myself too.
Yeah.
I'm producing, directing, editing, writing. All of it is me. Anything you see is ours, and we've been able to make some waves with it and build a solid platform. So I'm grateful.
You're multi-talented. You're both multi-talented.
I just want to say to add to this.
Tell me, yeah.
This has always been who he is and was from the beginning. Like we have the same stupid sense of humor, and like why? But the thing is, in Neverest, you would catch it in glimpses, right?
Okay.
Now it's full frontal.
Okay, before we talk about specifics, I want you guys to tell me the truth. Like, don't lie, because I've caught people lying before on the show. Do you guys cook for yourselves?
I make a hell of a peanut butter sandwich, let me tell you.
Dios mío. And you?
I actually am making more of an effort to cook. I cook only like I'm a butcher. There's
So no, you don't
steaks
cook?
and veggies
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stir
yeah.
fries.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. I'm not like a lasagna guy.
Okay.
With the
I would like
there's
to, though.
levels of
That's
cooking,
enough.
right?
There's levels.
So I
There's
don't know what you're.
100%.
I'm like
You caught
low
me.
to mid tier level.
But see, you got to teach us something, because I would love to. I know I would be great with cooking because of how
Your
meticulous I am,
personality.
and because I'm a
Absolutely.
perfectionist with building things and
Yes.
creating stuff, and I
In
love.
the end, you would take over my kitchen. Your mom made a meal when you guys were touring with the Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block, and that's the meal that I'm gonna try and make in my humble kitchen with an awesome chef, though, because I always have help on the show. What is that meal?
I don't know. It doesn't really have a name.
Okay.
But it is
Good.
It's like a spaghetti. It has instead of ground beef, we do ground chicken.
Okay.
Red peppers and olives.
Okay.
And it's incredible.
Okay.
It is delicious.
And that's a recipe that you grew up with, like your mom used to make it.
Like it just became somehow a staple.
I mean, we can do different kinds of pasta. Do you have a preference, or do you want me to do whatever I can do?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Let's see. I provide the skeleton. You go nuts.
Who loves this recipe?
I don't.
So Neverest actually was the opening act for the Backstreet Boys when they came to Toronto.
No way.
Yeah. So Paul, one day they were rehearsing, and he called his mom and says, "Mom, I'm coming over with Howie D and the guys.
Wow.
You gotta make us something."
Yeah.
And she made this dish, and the Backstreet Boys loved it. So today we're doing a replica of
Okay,
it.
hold on. I didn't know that part. I did not know that part. So hold on. There's some pressure here.
A little bit of pressure,
A little
okay.
bit of pressure, man. So you're telling me, so they opened up. They did all the thing. They loved. And then they said, "Hey, you gotta come home." And the Backstreet Boys came, and his mom made this.
Yes.
Okay, you didn't tell me that.
But you know, I'm full of surprises,
You're throwing me
Chef
in
Russell.
fire, man. This is the kitchen. I know this is the heat, but I can handle it. I am going to do a little twist with it today,
Okay.
which is not too far off from the original recipe that they sent me.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is that because I was Italian trained, there is a specific way to do proper bolognese.
Okay.
Bolognese, what is bolognese? Bolognese is minced meat, okay? That's cooked off slowly with or if you don't know what bolognese is too, you would hear a lot of people call it ragu, okay? There is a specific way how to cook it properly.
Okay.
This is a dish that takes low and slow for hours, okay?
Oh, wow.
To do it properly. So, just so you know, what you gotta do are a couple things. Now, when you're cooking off what they remember from their mom, they use ground chicken. In Italian, it's always half and half. Ragu is never all beef. It's never or minced beef. It's a combination of two meats always. It's going to always be beef, and it'll always be either half pork, or it's going to be half beef, or it'll be half lamb. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So it's depending where you are from the country, the north, the south, wherever it is, but it's a combination of the two,
Okay.
which kind of makes sense. Dealing with chicken is a little bit thing because chicken is a white meat. Okay, so when you're cooking it, it's not going to turn brown. It's going to turn white. All right, because it's a white dish.
Okay.
Okay, that's one thing you have to remember. So the color wise. Number two, when you cook your meat in your pot or your sauce,
Yes.
okay, you got to add some wine, some cooking wine, okay, to hydrate it. If not, it's just going to burn in the pan. It's just going to caramelize. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. So, of course, you can add your onions, you can add your garlic, you can add your ginger, whatever take you want on that, okay? But here, what we did was with our ground chicken, we already added some spices and herbs in there, okay? Just to marinate it, if you will, a little bit. So we have some paprika, we have some garlic, we have some ginger, we have some rosemary, we have, we also are going to, if you remember, before we add our tuna sauce, we're going to mix it with a pesto. What is pesto? Pesto is basically any greeny leaf that you want to do with some olive oil, which we have over here if you want.
Beautiful. Governor olive oil, high premium, better than extra virgin, right? Level up.
And it's whatever green you want to use. It's not about lettuce. It's more, you want to use more of a green that's more earthy, that's dark. So it might be spinach, it could be basil, it could be some type of other type of microgreens that are darker. So here we have basil and spinach that's been blended with your olive oil from your sponsor.
It smells really, really good.
Yeah.
This smells better than really good.
Right.
Wow.
But
beautiful.
you need to remember the ratio, you need to have it a little bit smaller than your tomato sauce, or else it will overtake.
Okay.
Okay, it will be overwhelming because you really need to have the bolognese in the tomato sauce in the meat. Okay. So when you're cooking your bolognese, your meat, okay, so you're gonna add some olive oil to your pan. You can add your onions, your garlic, your ginger, cook it off. Okay. Once it's halfway cooked, that's when you're gonna add your wine. Okay, and then you're gonna cook it off until the wine is about 3/4 cooked.
Okay.
After that, you add your tomato sauce.
Okay.
So your tomato sauce, we're not using canned tomatoes, we actually use fresh tomatoes. We add some basil, some rosemary into this.
Okay.
You add your tomato sauce and you let that reduce about halfway. Depending how much you make, it can take another hour, 2 hours and a half. Alcohol content is gonna cook off, so the alcohol is gone. What we're left with is pretty much the grape juice, which is so much flavor.
So
that's
good.
gonna, the meat, our bolognese is gonna absorb.
Very good.
And then you add your tomato sauce, and then once you are happy with the reduction in the taste and the flavor, that's when you add your pesto at the end.
Oh, this is gonna, I can tell, this is gonna be amazing. Okay, so how do we start?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is right now, we gotta cook off our bolognese with our white wine, but we're gonna do the steps right now.
Okay,
So
perfect.
let's do this right now. Let's get our pan ready. Okay, so we're gonna lower that. If you like to add some of that governor, so I'll let you know when. So just as long, so as long as our pan is warm enough that you know that you can cook your ham, that's when you can add it in. So go ahead.
Yeah, let's go. Now how much?
Not too much, okay? So that's it.
Okay.
All right, if you lift up the handle, you'll be able to cover the pan with the rest of the oil.
Okay.
Because you need to understand something too. With your meat, your bolognese, there's going to be natural oils that are going to be coming out. Okay. So a lot of people think to go heavy. You don't need to go heavy. Okay. So right here we have our bolognese. So yeah, go ahead.
Toss it in?
Yeah. So
how much is this?
So it's not just getting your get it in there. So we have a 1/4 pound of mincemeat in there right now.
Okay.
All right. I'll pass you the tongs. You can hear it sizzling.
Yeah. Oh,
so
you taught me last time not to stir too much.
Not to stir too much, but you want to actually open it up so it cooks evenly, right?
Okay.
So let's don't worry, get in there.
Get in there.
Get in there. Open it up. Yeah.
Because also with the chicken, it's very tender, right?
But this is chicken. It cooks really fast compared to the other meat. So just get in there.
Okay.
All right. Open it up. Don't worry. Use your tongs. No. Let me just show you a trick.
Okay.
All right. So your tongs are your third hand. Okay. So it's not about holding it closed like this.
Okay.
Open it up.
Ah.
Ragu is always usually used with a penne, okay? So we are gonna drop our penne soon, but we're not gonna drop it right now because this actually might go on for a little while, and then we're gonna drop off our penne.
This is fresh, right?
This is fresh pasta. You ready?
Doesn't this look like a ready face?
Don't be afraid. Our wine is pretty much reduced. And now we add the tomato
That's
sauce.
beautiful.
Okay?
Now this is something you make yourself.
Yeah, but again, this was low and slow. This is why this is happening really fast because I already did it already. You're just pretty much warming it up. But we're still showing the viewers the process of how you do it. So let's get that tomato sauce.
Do you want me to stir?
Yeah, keep going, keep going. A restaurant cannot take more than 10 minutes to make this dish unless the waiters mess up because they like to tell the cooks mess up. So just so you know, it's not us. All right, so what I need you to do is just don't be afraid to do
Break
that.
it apart?
Break it apart.
Okay.
Break it apart because we need to add our penne soup. Okay. That's it.
Oh, that yoga.
Flip it, flip it, flip it.
Thank you, Bikram yoga.
Get it in there. Is that everything?
Yeah, a few little pieces, but you know.
No problem. All right, so let's get some of these ones out.
Okay.
And now we toss.
Okay. So this is important.
So this is what you always want to do. You want to get whatever decorated plate that you want to do. You always want to center your food because that's the center of attention. That's how we eat. You want to get, with your tongs again as your friend, you want to get most of your ingredients in here with the meat. You want to make sure, you see how that fell down? That's what we want. We want to make sure before we take this, because if not, it's going to fall on the counter, it might fall on the floor. You want to make sure you have a good amount. You want to place it in the center and give it a nice twist to give it height. Okay? So I'm going to let you practice that.
Pasta bolognese.
Nope.
We test it.
We test it.
I'm
Let it
a
fall.
good listener. I'm a student.
Right into the center. Now, it's not yet, so we want to grab some more.
Okay.
And again, and then just as you wish.
Okay, so this
As
is
much as you
depending
want.
on the client, customer,
Yeah, exactly.
whoever you're cooking for.
Yeah. So add that in.
You tap or?
Yeah, tap, and then you might have to do one of those. Bang, 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 bang.
Bang,
with
bang,
your
bang,
hands.
bang, like this.
Yeah. All right,
Okay,
cool.
yeah.
Now we're gonna add our microgreens. Just to add some nice right there. But you know what? It can be a little dry, so why don't we add some of the olive oil?
Ah, beautiful idea.
So always your finger over here at the sprout, and so you can control the amount that comes out.
I was just gonna pour half the bottle in. Okay, thank you for saving the day.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, here we go. You happy with that?
I think
Is
it
that
looks
pleasing
beautiful.
for anyone that likes to try it?
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you, Spiro Halkiotti and Paul Duca from Neverest. Thank you once again, Chef Russell.
man,
It's
no
been an
problem.
absolute
Absolutely,
pleasure.
yeah.
Un bisou for you.
Ah ouais.
Two, dos. Okay.
Messy.
We're gonna do two things. So, you ready for the word?
Hold on one sec, let me take a picture of this.
The good thing is this word is easy because I
Here,
say
you can drink this. That's one.
Okay.
What?
Etimos.
This is so good.
Etimos.
It's like my favorite thing in the world.
Here's your cue. Chef Russell, ise etimos. Etimos.
Etimos. Say it quick.
Chef Russell, ise etimos.
Etimos.
Perfect. Chef Russell, are you ready? I'm ready.
Okay.
Chef Russell, ise etimos.
Etimos, fucking right.
You got that, YouTube? Because it's not going on broadcast.